Hello and welcome to another edition of Overcoming Illness. I am your host, founder, and CEO of Enrich Your Health. I am a health coach. I've been doing my business since 2010, and this is Overcoming Illness. I've decided to do this show because of my health and what I've gone through. I suffered from multiple food allergies, and from there, I've helped people with Lyme disease and autoimmune issues, as well as food allergies and sensitivities. I decided to do the show because people out there have stories similar to mine that need to get out there, that have gone through an illness or going through an illness, and they need to help other people with what they're going through. So I am looking for more guests for the show, or sponsors for the show. I do the business spotlight. So if you're interested in getting more advertising for your business, I've got several followers on a lot of my platforms like Facebook. I've got over 4,000, I think, followers on Facebook, maybe 2,000 something on Instagram. I've got LinkedIn, and then even TikTok if you choose to. So if you wanted to be in the business spotlight or even be a sponsor for the show and also advertise on my platforms, reach out to me. We can work out something. I'm looking for people to partner with. So if you're a health practitioner, chiropractor, nurse, doctor, things like that, you may have clients or patients that need recipes. I specialize in customizing recipes, or I have some digital ebooks and recipes that people can get. Reach out to me at info@enrichyourhealth.com, and I'll give you the link for that, because I had to do it all. Eat sugar-free, nut-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, all of that. So I can prepare recipes for your clients or patients. So reach out to me. You can do it by Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, info@enrichyourhealth.com, and it's ENRICHURHEALTH.com. Reach out to me. I'll give you the link for that, and let you know how you can get some customized recipes for your clients or patients. So if you haven't seen the show before, please go back and watch some of the replays. We've had some amazing guests so far, and I'm really excited about my guests tonight as well. We've had everything from congestive heart failure, mold toxicity, cancer, Lyme disease. I can't even name them all. I've had a deaf person on here, autism, you name it. We have had all kinds of guests on here, and they've been amazing. So go back and watch some of the replays if you've never seen the show. Also give Elevation TV Network some love. Go over to their YouTube channel, go over to their Facebook channel, subscribe to it, and give them some love there, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be on this platform. So, and last but not least, I also offer some business resources, specifically business funding. So if you're a business and you're not just a startup, you've been in business 4 to 6 months, you're making over $3,000 a month, and you could use some funding, reach out to me for that. So last but not least, you can also reach me by text 508-330-9665, and I will get back to you because I do work full time. So without further ado, I don't want to keep talking about myself. I'm really excited about my guest tonight. When you hear this story and what this woman has been through, my goodness, you will not complain another day in your life. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Shalandra Spragley is the CEO of Agape Apparel, a clothing line that empowers people to overcome difficult circumstances and strive for greatness. She knows how important looking your best is when you don't always feel it. After surviving a collision with an 18-wheeler, you heard me, 18-wheeler, causing an internal decapitation, Shalandra had to start from scratch. At a point in her life when she was supposed to be traveling and spending time with her 4 kids, she was hospitalized, unable to walk, and worried about what her future would look like. Her free will was taken instantly, and one of the things she remembered hurting the most was being unable to wear the unique outfits she used to. Imagine after all that, that was one of the biggest things for her. Let's see. She fought to recover, even regaining the ability to walk against all expectations. And one of the first things she did when she was released from the hospital was to start designing. She knew what helplessness felt like. She decided, even on days when she felt it, she would never look it again. This small thing was something she had control over. She designs unique clothing for people who love to shine brightly, so their outside matches the vibrancy of their spirit. Shalonda Spragley is a business owner, an author, a mom, a grandma, and a survivor. Well, I'll say. And I do want to point out that I am wearing some of her apparel. So let me sit up so you can see it. Move my hair. So, Shalonda, explain what this means to the audience. Can we see it?
What you're wearing is my redemption piece.
Mm-hmm.
And the hearts represents the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, which is the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
God redeemed me from so much. And the Roman numerals is 1981, which is the year that I was born. So that's my redemption piece.
I love it. Thank you so much for this beautiful gift. And
You
we'll
are
tell
so
you a little
welcome.
bit later how you can get gifts like this for yourself and your loved ones at, towards the end of the show. So, welcome, Shalandra. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. We're glad you're here to tell your story. So, Shalandra, tell us just a little bit first about yourself, where you grew up. Do you have any brothers or sisters? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I grew up in a small town called Princeville, North Carolina. Excuse me, which is a small town in Tarboro, North Carolina. My mom had four children. I am the knee baby of my mom's four children. I have two sisters and a brother. I am a
Okay.
mother. I'm a mother of four children, three boys and one girl, and a grandmother of a handsome young 2-year-old.
Oh,
But yes,
well, thank you. Thank you for telling us a little bit about that. Okay, so what are some challenges you face? Well, let's back up a little bit. So, in your bio, you told us you got hit by an 18-wheeler. Let's paint us a picture. What was happening that day? How long ago was this? Um, were you in another vehicle? Were you on a highway? Paint us a picture, and as long as it's not too traumatizing, of course. Um, of what was happening that day. Did you have other people in the car? And being hit by an 18-wheeler, because I interviewed somebody and met somebody was run over by a bus. So this, compared to that, you two just blow me away. So tell us a little bit about that. Paint us that picture, and then we'll talk about some of the challenges.
okay, so I was on my way to work. I worked about 30 minutes away from home. And on a busy highway, I came into a stoplight. My light turned green. So automatically, when you see a green light, what are you going to do? You're going to go, right?
Yeah.
So when I went through the green light, a 18-wheeler ran their light and T-boned me. And I was in the car by myself,
Oh, wow.
T-boned me. And from what I was told, the 18-wheeler truck took me a few ways down the highway. That was how, big the impact was. And it so happened a state trooper was sitting at the light when the accident occurred. So he
Wow.
was able to call the emergency services so they can come on and come to the scene. When the EMT arrived, they had to get the jaws of life to get me out of the car. They lost me on the way to the hospital. I
God.
was resuscitated. Once I got to the hospital, into the operating table, and I'm just telling you what I was told, okay?
Right.
They said the doctor that had did my surgery had never did it before because no one has ever made it to his operating table.
Mm.
So after the surgery, I had to go through rehab. The doctors, am I going too fast?
Well, tell us a little bit about, so when you say you got T-bone, did he hit you head on? Did he hit you on the passenger side or
It hit my driver's side, T-bone me right on my side, like a T-bone is what
wow,
it
so
did.
hit you on the driver's side?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Yep.
And did you even know, like, were you even alert at all that something
I,
hit you?
no, no, like I just remember going to the going to the green light.
Okay.
And I don't remember nothing after that, but waking up in the hospital.
Right. Wow.
Nothing after that.
Okay. So now tell us about the hospital.
Okay, once I woke up, I seen my son and a couple other family members standing over me, and I was trying to figure what happened. So my oldest son asked me, "Mom, you know you know where you at?" And I nodded my head, yes. You know what happened? No, I don't know what happened. So that's when he took his phone out and he showed me a picture of my car.
Jesus.
And I was just devastated because looking at my car, I didn't know, whether or not what else was waiting on me to look at, I'm laying in the hospital bed. So at that time, I didn't know whether or not I would be able to move or
Mm,
the details of the accident, other than looking at my car. And knowing I was in a hospital bed with all these tubes, like neck brace.
wow. And what about the truck driver? Were they injured? Did they survive?
Yes, he survived and he wasn't injured
Isn't that
at
crazy?
all.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But you
Did
know
you
what?
ever?
My family told me that he did come to the hospital as well to, I guess to check on me to
Oh,
see.
that's good.
I
Yeah.
thought so too.
I'm sure he felt bad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
can't even imagine. I went through a red light once and I did hit a car and I remember one time I don't know what came over me like I just started to oh, I know what it was. So there was like you have a couple of different lanes and one lane has I think like an arrow, a green
Uh-huh.
arrow. For some reason, don't ask me why, I just thought I started to see the other cars go and I thought it was my turn to go and I started to go and I caught myself and I was like, no, 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 I don't want to go. I'm like, and I'm thinking like, cars stop, stop, like, but it was too late and I did hit
Yeah.
somebody that would have been, it was my fault, I mean, I was lucky, nothing really happened to me, but either one of us, I don't think, but I caught myself. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna hit me. I can't, there's no, I already knew, like I just started to go through the red light. I was already like maybe three-quarters of the way through. I just caught myself. I
Oh,
don't know
wow.
why. Just I think it's just an automatic reaction. You just saw the other cars going and you're like, okay, it's my
Mm-hmm.
turn. Because they were going for the arrow. You know what I mean? So you got
Yeah.
the stoplight here, but they had the arrow and it was just my stupidity. But
Yeah, I can relate to that.
it can happen. It can
Yeah.
happen, you know. But then you've got other idiots out there that purposely go through red lights. I saw a lot of that in North Carolina, right? Even during the pandemic. Like, where are they going? Why are they flying through a red light? Nothing was open. Nothing was even open and they were doing it. I'm like, what is going on? I don't know. But people can, make mistakes or do it on purpose. Who knows? But somebody else
Right.
has to pay the price, no matter what. So paint us a picture of going, how many years ago was this?
This was in 2017, February 28, 2017 to be exact.
Okay. So you've had a little bit of time to recover. So tell us, do you have any nightmares or anything about the accident? Does anything come
No,
back?
no, but I have a phobia when it's time for me to turn left. It's something that shakes on the inside of me
Mm,
when I get ready to turn left
yeah.
every time, and it's still here.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I was telling you before we got on the show, I was in a different accident here in North Carolina where they hit me on the right front passenger side. I was getting ready to take a left. There was and another vehicle was he wanted to go left and cut me off. And my friend was with me. She's like, Paula, watch out, watch out. I braced myself, but it was too late and he cut me off. And I don't know what it was about that accident. I was not hospitalized. Um, didn't break any bones or anything, but did something to my shoulder. It was in some pain later, like a week later. Um, I did have it x-rayed. There was nothing there, but I never did an MRI. So I know something screwed up with it. But that accident, like you say, shook me to my core. I tried driving a little bit after that. I even got a new car. But I don't know what it was. Every time I get in my car and drive now, I just feel like don't hit me, don't hit me. I don't want to go through that again. I guess too, like the older you get, it takes time to recover, even if it wasn't bad. I don't want to go through that again.
Right, right,
It takes time to recover. So I don't know if that's part of my reasoning that I'm so like shaky about it. I don't know. But like you say, there's something that just makes you very shaky. So I don't
right.
drive a lot now. I'll just say that. I'm perfectly happy taking an Uber or a Lyft. And I mean, something could even happen there, but
Yeah,
I just feel better, than I'm not the one.
yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, so tell us a little bit more about, so this is like 2017. Tell us step by step your recovery. How long were you in the hospital?
Like I said, the accident happened on February the 28th.
Hmm.
I was released. I had to go from ICU. It was like a process to get down to rehab. So I went from ICU to rehab, and I was released from rehab like the end of May and the beginning of June of
Mm,
2017. So my family had to build a ramp in order for me to be released because like I said, the doctors told me that I would be in a mobile wheelchair for the rest of my life.
wow.
Yeah, so I had to do physical therapy. I had to learn to talk again.
Mm,
As a matter of fact, I couldn't even eat. I had to get a feeding tube. So when I was released from the hospital, and I was so disappointed, I had to go home with that feeding tube because when I was swallowed, they said the fluid and the fluid would going into my lungs. Like my throat was so swollen from the impact of the internal decapitation.
mm,
Still to this day, I get short of breath or I have to pause while speaking. Um, but yeah, that process, it just thinking about it shakes something on the inside of me again, just
right,
going through it.
right.
But God is able. God is
Hmm.
able.
So that was February. So I'm just trying to paint the picture for the audience. So that was February, and then to like May or June, you did rehab, you went home. Tell us, I mean, what was that like living at home? How old were your kids?
So listen, I had lost my home and had to end up back with my mother.
Oh my
So my
God.
mother had a home, 3 bedrooms. I had 4 children. My mother had 3 bedrooms, and my youngest 2 kids had to sleep in the bed with me, a queen size bed, 3 people in a queen size bed. And mind you, I wasn't independent, so they had to help me with it. They had to help me with everything. They had to help me with everything. So I felt worthless, like
Yeah.
I'm their mother and they're having to help me with everything. They were still in school, so while they was in school, my family members would come one by one to help me with physical therapy because the actual therapies wasn't there yet. So it was a challenge trying to figure out everything and keep my mental sane for my kids.
Mm.
I just didn't I felt worthless. I felt worthless.
I can't even imagine. Okay, so not only I can't even imagine having first of all, it's hard enough to sleep with people in a bed, right? We all toss and turn and hit each other and snore and
Mhm.
all of that. you were probably still in somewhat of pain. How in the heck did you sleep with a couple other people? Like, you're probably afraid to move, probably afraid. How, tell us what that was like.
And see, I can only lay on my back. So
Yeah.
that, yes, and they had to use like a board to get me on the bed. Just like, so it was, oh my God, it was a struggle. They had to use a board to get me on the bed. And when I had to use the bathroom, I had to wait for someone to help me get the board to get me off the bed into the wheelchair to the bathroom. It was like, wow.
Oh my gosh, a board. They had to put you on a board. Who did that? Who put you on the
My
board? Was
my mother, well, the boy came from the hospital. My mother and my oldest son would slept down the hall. So I had to call his cell, well, my daughter had to call his cell phone so he can come down the hall to help my mom get me off the board. I'm sorry, off the bed to the board, to the wheelchair, to the bathroom.
oh, and how long did that go on for?
That about, I would say about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about 3 months because February of 2018, I was in a walk. I was using a walker. I was no longer using that. Okay, let me back up. We was waiting on the mobile wheelchair that my insurance had paid for to
Mm-hmm.
get to the home. So my family members had got a used wheelchair from one of the friends of the family. So something in me, it resonated, and I said I was not. This wasn't about to be my life.
Yes.
Like I'm not about to, no, having to interrupt my children's childhood to come and assist me with having to use the bathroom, having to take a bath, having to just do everything for me. So by February of 2018, or maybe March of 2018, I was using a walker. I
Wow.
never ever used, when by the time the mobile chair got to my mom's house, brand new, I never used it. I never used the mobile wheelchair.
That's
Never.
incredible. So you went from February of 2017, sleeping with a couple of people in your bed, had to get a board to go from the bed to the, just get off of the bed, go to the bathroom, whatever. And a year later, you were using a walker.
A
That's
walker. Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
incredible.
And it was I say it's a mental thing. Healing takes place in your mind first.
Absolutely. Yep.
It takes place in your mind first. And then it'll manifest everywhere else.
Right. Your mind and your faith in God. Yep. Yeah. So tell us about your faith in God and like how that, tell us step by step how that was. Like, did you start praying constantly? Like, tell us a little bit about that day by day.
Let me tell you this. And excuse me, when I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And what
Wow.
that is, it's a rare form of cancer, and it was to the fourth stage.
Right.
So they told me, I got through it. They told me they had to remove one of my ovaries because it was damaged by the radiation. And the other one was damaged by the radiation, and the other one was just damaged, I guess. Anyway, they had to remove my ovaries. So they told me I would never have any children. And
Oh
I'm
my God.
saying that, I'm saying that because that was enough in itself to build my faith if I just had paused and thought about what God brought me through at the
Yeah.
age of 9.
Right.
So once I got myself together, my mom is a minister. We had a bunch of people that was praying, and my family, we always pray together. So
Okay.
I ended up building a relationship, not as solid as it is now, but I ended up building a relationship, and God began to move in my life. And when I look back to see how far I came, or when I went to the doctor, how amazed they would be that I'm walking in, not in a mobile wheelchair, but I'm walking in. I'm not moving fast, but I'm walking in. Their excitement built my faith in God even the more.
Wow.
So my faith is so strong in God now that come what may, I'm gonna stand on what God has already spoke to me. And God told me I was healed. Back
And
then, my mom used to quote the scripture, by his stripes you are healed, when I
yes.
was 9 years old.
Wow.
And we quoted it every day. Every day she made a routine out of quote, by his stripes you are healed. Not you were healed, but you are healed. So
Yeah.
I began to walk in that. I
Yep.
began to talk in it. And God has just been doing amazing things ever since I gave him my yes.
Wow. That's incredible. So your mom's a minister, and
Ye-
you're in a praying family, and so you
Yes.
have to wonder, was it the enemy been trying to take you out? Like this kind of my story too. In fact, I
Wow.
wrote it in my book, but God, I'm still here. All the times the enemy's been trying to take me out. Car accidents. I had multiple food allergies. I almost died. I won't tell you all of them because you have to get the book. But
Wow.
yeah, just that, because I'm a prophetic vessel. Being a prophetic vessel, we help people, and the
Hmm.
enemy doesn't like that.
Right.
So yeah, it sounds like the enemy's been. I look at it this way. Yes, the enemy tries to take us out, but yet our pain is our purpose. So everything we've
Yep.
gone through, God just turns it for our good and the good of the people that,
Yep.
that find us and we help them,
Yep.
or he helps us find them. Yeah, that's incredible. So you went through cancer. Now, how long did you have the cancer for?
That was not, I think about by the time I was 14 or 15, I was like in what they call remission, and then going back and forth to the doctors. I was clear. They were so amazed. By the time I graduated, I had my first son. And when I got pregnant, the regular OBGYN wouldn't see me because I didn't have any ovaries. So they sent me back to the doctors in Greenville, North Carolina, which was my oncologist doctors. And they was like, if I was to give birth to my son, he would have all sorts of defects, or I may not even have a full-term pregnancy.
Jesus.
My yes, my oldest son came out perfect. The only thing he had was jaundice. And they were
Okay.
just so amazed that I had a baby with no ovaries. All
That's
right, I have
incredible.
4 children.
That is incredible in itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And you were young. You said how
yes.
old you were?
I was 18. 18
18.
when I had my son. I was 9 when I was diagnosed with the stage 4 cancer.
So you were 9, so you had the cancer, you went through all that cancer stuff. You really didn't even have much of a childhood.
I had no childhood.
Yeah, because you was, well, somewhat sick from the age
Yeah,
of 9 to for a few years,
yeah. And then I
going back.
couldn't go to school. I had to be homeschooled because my immune system was low and they
Okay.
didn't want me to, get sick or anything. So yeah, no
Wow.
childhood.
My goodness. So you didn't even have any childhood friends or anything.
Well, I had a childhood best friend, and she was my friend before I was diagnosed with the cancer, but she
Mm-hmm.
couldn't come over. We couldn't interact, so no childhood
So it's almost
until I
like you,
got to high school.
it's kind of like you were like that, ever see the movie The Boy in the Bubble?
Yeah,
You were like the boy in the bubble, except your bubble was just cancer.
yeah.
It just wasn't an actual physical bubble. Wow. That's so crazy that you've come out of that. You've got 4 kids
And a grandson.
and a grandson.
Hmm.
Wow. Have you written a book about this?
You know what? I've written my first book is called I Am, and
Okay.
it hasn't been published or anything. It's like trying to get something perfect will just hold you back
Oh yeah.
from.
Yes.
So it's like God said, write the book, I will perfect it. So now
Okay.
I'm just in the process of it has been edited, just in the process of trying to get it published. And
Okay.
my funds are limited. So that's another thing that's holding me back right now from it actually being published.
All right. So by the end of this show, we've got about 25 more minutes or so. We're gonna put up um whatever your Cash App or whatever you use. And if anybody wants to donate or help sponsor your book, we'll see if anybody comes through. That might
Well,
help. Yeah, that might help you, or even just sponsors for the book.
well,
That
thank you.
might give
Yes.
you a little extra funds, that little extra push to get the book out there. We
Yeah.
just did a book. You might even want to connect with the person that put the book together. She's amazing too. She had a stroke. She's actually had a couple of strokes, some other health challenges. Her name is Judy Ambrose James, and we did a book, an anthology, called Activate Your Faith, Witness Generational Turnaround. And she found a way to get that book put together for as little as dollars as possible.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, we did not spend a lot on putting that together, and it's on Amazon. Um, and yeah, it's a physical book that we all put together. And it came out quick. So I can put you in touch with her too. She can help you with some of the cheaper ways that we did to get the book out there. We had a good sponsor and everything.
Okay.
That might help too. So yeah, by the end of the show, we'll put up your information. Anybody wants to be a sponsor or just donate to help you because the book needs to get out there. Don't let funds stop you, because this was actually my second anthology. My first one's a beautiful book, but I'll just say this. Unfortunately, it wasn't marketed well. And now it's on a website. It's not on Amazon. And it's like $29.99. Nobody wants to pay $29.99 for books today, right? They
Mm-hmm.
want to pay $10, couple bucks, you know what I mean? So it's a lot harder to sell it. It's a beautiful
Yes.
book. They did a beautiful job, but that's just my story. So when we did the second book, my story's in there, but I added to it. So now at least that's on Amazon. It can sky's the limit. Anybody can buy it. It's there, you know.
Okay.
So just some thoughts. We'll see if anybody wants to donate to you. Even if it helps you with your business. We'll go over some of that too. Your business stuff. But yeah, but to get like sponsors would be huge, and then you could get the book going. You know.
Yeah. I
So
would love to share it worldwide because my first one, like I said, is called I Am.
yeah,
And then God led me to write Born to Win. That's the
love
second
it.
book that I just completed about a month ago.
I
I
love.
manually wrote a month ago. I haven't did anything with it.
So both books aren't published yet.
No.
And there's actually publishers right here in this network, Elevation TV Network. The owner of the network, Shawnee, helps people publish books. And then Angela Wynn, she also does it too. So
Okay.
they may even want to help you. I don't know, I can't speak for them,
Yeah.
but I'll reach out to them and just, see if there's something they can do to help you. So
You know
which
what? I
by the time
appreciate
this
that.
show airs and is done, we're gonna help you get that both books out. Both books.
Yes, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's been a challenge. One of my challenges is coming from out of the shell
Mm-hmm.
and moving and meeting people because I was so self-conscious. I can't move like I used to move, or,
Mm-hmm.
I'm challenged with hearing. But God told me I have to show up,
Yep.
just show up. So that was a challenge that I was facing, showing up. So now I'm
Right.
showing up. I want to meet people. I want to meet people physically, I'm ready to get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you would even benefit from reading our book, Activate Your Faith, because the people in there, oh my Lord. So it was an anthology, and there was a few people that have gone through strokes. So like you, they've had some challenges with movement and all of that. Um, there was a person that was in an airplane crash, so she's in
Oh,
a wheelchair
wow.
through a yeah, I think you would benefit. I'm gonna send you the book because I think you benefit from reading it. It's not even about me and my story. You can read it, but I think you need to read those stories. Like it would just help you
Wow.
feel like you're not alone. Other people have experienced similar things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd help you feel like you're not alone. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm
Yeah.
gonna send it to you. So we'll exchange information later, and I'll send it to you because it's just so I can't wait for you to read it. That's
Oh
all I can
wow,
say to
yes.
anybody out there. If if you're going through stuff, you've been through strokes, or even if, we have even in the book, there's a person that's the caregiver too, and there's some information about being the caregiver of somebody who went through a stroke. It's her husband, so it just helps motivate you, inspire you, how their faith in God got them through all of that. So
Hmm. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I can't wait to read that.
be a
Yeah.
great read for you. And it's an easy read, wouldn't take you forever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So not to just advertise my book on here, but I'm just feeling like, man, that book would help you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really would.
Yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, we're gonna get your books out there too.
Well, I can't wait.
Absolutely. So let's pivot a little bit. We've talked about all your health challenges. Well, you had one more health challenge recently. Tell us about that one, and then I want to talk about your businesses.
When I tell you, okay, so my last challenge was I was off balance really bad. So I
Mm-hmm.
go to my neurologist who had put me back together from the internal decapitation. So he woke in, he see me, he's amazed. So he did my MRI and come to find out I had a cyst at the bottom of my brainstem. And that's what was causing me to be so unbalanced. That's
Wow.
what was messing with my hearing on the left side. All the metal is on the left side. So he goes in, he does the MRI, and when he take the little screen out and he's showing me, there's the cyst. So he look again, and where the screws is, he said a bone has grown where the screws is, where the bone was missing, where they had to fuse me back together. He said a bone had grew there in the shape of a ribbon. So he had scheduled my surgery for May 3rd. So he said, upon removing the cyst, I'm going to remove the screws out your neck because you no longer need it because a bone is there. And I was so excited because that was another thing that God did because that was impossible. And the
Mm.
doctor was just so amazed to see that a bone had grew where the screws were. So he removed the screws and the surgery. I only stayed in surgery, uh, 8 hour surgery for 4 hours. A 2 week stay. I went home the next day. So everything, God is just so amazing. I can't wait to get the actual X-rays. So I
Hmm.
want to add that in my book so that people can
Yes.
see
Yes.
the bone. Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. So that's
Wow.
that's the latest thing God is doing.
Yeah, it's just incredible all the different things you've got. And I'm sure like feeling off balance and stuff, you probably just like, oh, it's just from the accidents and whatever. How did you figure out what it was?
Well, you mean as far as the assist?
Yeah,
Well, like I said, I was off balance. When I walk,
right.
I would just be off balance. I was going forward instead of being straight. My body would go forward, and he
Hmm.
said that was the cyst laying near my spine, causing me to go forward. So that's what made him do that. I had a CT, then I had an MRI, and that's what showed him the cyst. And then once he seen the cyst, he looked over on the left side, and that's when he showed where the bone had moved. A
So even
bone had moved.
finding that in itself is kind of miraculous because think about it. I know, like I told you, I've been in accidents. If I started feeling dizzy, I'd be like, oh, it's from the accidents. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So in
Yes, yeah,
itself, it's kind of miraculous that you went and they found it. And
yes.
sometimes they don't always find things. They could have just said, "Oh, you've been in accidents. That's just something you're going through." You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
no test. You never know. You know what I mean? Not to put anybody down, but sometimes they do. They just chalk it off. Like, oh, this is in
Yep.
your record. Oh yeah, you've been through an accident. That's why. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And
So he
that in
did.
itself is incredible. I
Yep.
think. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just so amazing just to go back in his office because like I said, he was the one who did my surgery with the internal decapitation. And he
Uh,
said, he tell me all the time, he said you're lucky. I said, no, Dr. Openo, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed because he said no one has ever made it to the table
Mm.
for they die immediately. If they arrive at the hospital, they die right after. So
Wow.
so
Incredible.
I yeah, so I often think about him telling me that, and I find myself a lot of time these days, just telling God thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
Just telling God thank you.
Yeah. I know. I started like a virtual walking club and it's small right now, but if anybody wants to join, just reach out to me and I'll give you the link. Um, but a lot of times I get on video at the end of the week and I always say, what's your excuse? If you have two legs and you can walk, because I told you I helped in the Lyme disease community, people that have immune issues. A lot of those people have things like MS, fibromyalgia. They're in pain all the time. Walk for them. Get out and move because if you can move, we take it for granted. Let me just put it that way. We really take it for granted. Um, if you can get out and move, even if it's once a week, I mean, I admit, there's some days I can't get out there. I'm working full time. Now it's getting hot as heck, but I'm still gonna try to at least once a week, if not a couple
Yeah.
of days a week, still
Yeah.
gonna try to keep getting out there as much as I can because it just feels so much better when you do it. And what I started the group for is so people will walk and pray. So it's called Order My Steps.
Okay.
Psalm 119, 133. So when I walk, I pray. I pray around the lake. I pray, right now we've got crazy weather coming in. I pray about these hurricanes that are coming. Before it was
Hmm.
the tornadoes, I pray about the tornadoes. And then whatever else, friends that are sick or, whatever God leads me to pray for. And of course, my area, the land, the people that live here, all of that, and whatever God leads you to pray for. But I think people need to pray more. And a lot of times it's like, I don't have time. When am I going to do it? You know what I mean? Get out and
Hmm.
walk. Now you're helping yourself with your health. I worship, I put on worship music.
Yeah.
Um, and you can pray and take care of your health at the same time. I also feel on another note, um, he wants us to get stronger because there is so much coming down the line. Like,
Yeah.
say, we don't know what can happen tomorrow.
Right.
Look how many neighborhoods have been on fire. They've been hit by tornadoes, whatever. What if you have to walk a couple miles down the road to get supplies? What I answer phones for grocery stores and I can hear it in people, a lot of them are disabled or sick. And I'm like, what in the world are they going to do if something hits and
Yeah.
they've got to get out of their home? They're not going to make it. They're just, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like they cry they can't even get an electric scooter in a grocery store. They're not going to make it. So I feel like he wants us to get stronger. Walking
Hmm.
is one way to get stronger. I definitely need, I was telling you earlier, I'm a little bit stiff. I need to work out as well as walk. Start doing it. Get yourself some rubber bands. I don't care what you have, fibromyalgia, MS, accidents. Start strengthening yourself because we don't know what tomorrow brings. There's going to be hurricanes. They're already predicting it, up the Northeast, the whole East Coast. There may be hurricanes that hit. You might have to get out of there and
Right.
walk. You might have to move, you know, um, be ready for it. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. I
So
totally
let's
agree.
pivot a little bit and talk about your business. You're a designer. Tell us about all this great stuff. I love this. It's so beautiful. So tell
Well,
everybody
yes.
again about your
It
business. Yeah.
I I'm sorry. God gave me agape while I was in rehab. I was laying in a hospital bed. It was on a Sunday. I'll never forget it. And I had got sad because my family always come visit me after they go to church.
Mm-hmm.
So I had got sad once they left. So as I laid there, when I looked over, like it's like a wardrobe there, and I had all my get well cards, all
Yeah.
these cards under the wardrobe. When I looked over there, it was plain as day, AGAPE. And
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And I grew up in church, so I knew agape was attached to God.
Right.
So I heard God tell me that's what saved me. his unconditional love saved me.
Hmm.
And that's what I want you to tell the people. So, I'm a little confused because I'm like, how am I, what you mean tell the people? So I always had a thing for fashion. I always like to look nice. I like my hair to look nice. So I'm like, how can I, how? So I have a niece that's a graphic designer, and she was like, Aunt Lady, they call me Lady. She was like, Aunt Lady, I shared my idea, what God showed me with her. She said, Aunt Lady, well, I think it's a good idea. Maybe you should do T-shirts with that word up there. You love fashion show, so share your testimony through fashion. So that's how I ended up coming up with the agape. And my niece drew up the triangle that you have on your shirt. It's
Let me
on
see
your sleeve on
this
the
one.
other side. Uh-huh.
Okay.
My niece drew
Oh,
that logo for me.
that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And I started selling t-shirts October of 2018. I started selling t-shirts to my community. The people that grew up with me, the people that knew my story, they were
Yep.
supporting me. So that's
Awesome.
how I began to do it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what do you sell now? You t-shirts? What else?
I sell t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants. I was selling jackets and windbreakers, but now I'm just back to t-shirts due to, everything is so slow now.
Oh,
Funding and everything has sort of died down a little bit. So I just feel like I'm in development. God is taking me to another place. So he's
mm-hmm.
just slowing things down for me so I can actually get everything in order.
Right. Yep. So do you have any other merchandise like planners, journals, anything like that, or no? Mugs?
No,
No, just the
no,
t-shirt. Okay. Well, you might want to think about it. You might want to add that.
yeah.
Let's see. Well, this has been amazing. Do you have any other businesses besides the apparel?
No, no, ma'am, I don't. I'm a full-time mom and grandma. That's a business in itself.
That is a business in itself. And,
Yeah.
from having some health challenges, that's a lot. That must take a
Yes.
lot out of you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this has been amazing. So tell people how they can reach you, your website, how they can purchase anything.
Okay, well, you can find me on Facebook up under Shalandra Spragley or Agape Apparel on Facebook. My Instagram is agape.all.powerful. If you would like to purchase any merchandise, you can go to agapeapparel.store. And if you have any questions about something that you are interested in and you don't see, if you DM me, I'll be more than glad to get back with you at my earliest convenience to assist you.
God just gave me something. You're gonna be like, this girl's crazy. Your your story is a movie, not just a book, it's a movie. You
I
just showed me
receive it.
that. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, think about it. I mean, you always see these stories on whatever, Lifetime, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's a movie. So
Wow.
I imagine once you get the books out, you can turn it into a movie. There's another person I can connect you with. Um, and it's funny, I told her the same thing, and she got right on it. She did her book.
Wow.
It's called Blood on the Wall. She did her book, and I said that's a movie. I'm like, that's not just a book. And right after I told her that, she has some experience. Like she took classes and stuff like this a few years back. So she has some experience that it made it a little easier for her to put the movie together. But I can get you in touch with her because, once you get the book done and everything, you might be able to, she'll help you get the movie get going, rather than
Wow.
trying to find people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's out completely yet, but she's been advertising it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
called Blood on the Wall. So she took her book, turned it into a movie, and I feel like your
Mhm.
story is definitely, there's so much in
Wow.
there. I mean, we probably only scratched the surface on this show. It's
Right.
basically a movie. So anybody who's interested in investing in her movie that's not even out yet, investing in her books that aren't published yet that can help her, please reach out to her. She just told you her information. And last but not least, if you just want to donate to help her get these books out, what do you have? Cash App, PayPal? What do you have? How can they do that?
Okay, you can, well, I don't have Cash App any longer, but I do have Zelle.
Okay.
And you can use my phone number, which is 252-326-2449. And that's
Okay.
with Apple Pay as well.
Do you have PayPal?
Yes, I have a PayPal, and that's through my email. I can provide that, which is
Okay.
shalandraj@yahoo.com. And I can
Okay. That's
spell that.
go ahead. You
Is
can spell.
okay, S is in Sam, H is in Harry, A is in Apple, L is in Larry, A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, D is in David, R is in Robert, A is in Apple, J as in Jack at yahoo.com.
Okay. Thank you. Well, this has been one heck of an incredible story. I appreciate you coming on and being on. I hope people do reach out to you for more ways than one. I can't wait till your books are out. I can't wait till the movie's out.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's meant to be a movie. I don't know if it's like a Lifetime movie. That's like those are the kind of stories you see on Lifetime, you know, where people,
yes,
barely survive something, and yeah. So whatever it is, wherever God leads, whatever kind of movie it's gonna be, I can't wait. I'm looking
yes,
for
absolutely. Me
doing
too.
for you, through you in your life. You've got so much more coming, more merchandise, more, just so much more. I mean, and heck, you probably will even be ministering to people that are going through
Wow.
similar things. You know,
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
I receive all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we give God all the glory.
Yes.
Just want to say thanks to the viewers out there. Thanks to everybody watching the replays. Once again, I am looking for sponsors, people to partner with. If you want to be in the business spotlight, you can reach out to me at info@enrichyourhealth.com. If you're listening, it's info at enrich, so enrichurhealth.com. I can do recipes for your clients or patients that they just feel overwhelmed. They're just like, oh my gosh, I mean, what do I eat? Because I have food allergies or maybe an autoimmune issue. They have to eat gluten free, sugar free, dairy free. I can help with all of that, or even just do low sugar. Um, I can help with all of that because that was one thing that was missing for me was recipes. So I like to make them simple and affordable. So those are two key things right there. Um, and like I said, I can also help with business funding. So reach out to me, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, or info@enrichyourhealth.com, or you can text me 508-330-9665. So we will see you next Sunday. And I want to thank everybody for watching. And thank you again, Shalandra, for being on. This has been amazing. Have a
Thank you
great
so
week,
much.
everybody. God bless.